I'm sure that the majority of you have already seen this map that Dr. Phil presented to the public a while back, and I just think it's a very curious map. I mean, he went on Joe Rogan even, and when you do a search for Dr. Phil map of Chinese-owned farmland in the USA, one of the first results, of course, is the facts about a misleading map of Chinese-owned farmland. And, it's pretty interesting because the map does show statistical facts, facts that can be proven. So it's not like something that's just made up. Some of these headlines are hilarious. Donald Trump tells Dr. Phil he'd win California if Jesus Christ came down and was the vote counter. Some of this just makes it just seems so ridiculous, with some of these headlines. But this map is kind of curious, though, that Dr. Phil presented because, I mean, it shows where the Chinese owned farmland is. You see a lot of out here in California, quite a bit here in Utah, Arizona, a little bit in Texas, all over here. And I mean, the map clearly shows, and anybody can research and look it up. A lot of it is next to military bases, which is curious to begin with. Okay. But if we really look at this and research into the history of like weather modification projects and geoengineering projects and stuff too, you'll see these are the areas where the bulk of geoengineering and weather modification, cloud seeding programs, different things like that occur. So I don't think that's just a coincidence either. And they could very well be doing it um, to seed their farmlands and everything. But we can look up project reports. This is coming right from NOAA, the NOAA Library of Weather Modification Project reports that, they were forced to share with the public, which I wish that they would give us a better search criteria to work with, because I would like to be able to search state by state for the activity, but they don't give us that option. This is the best that we can get from them, is this jumbled up mess of just, forms and applications that they fill out. I mean, dating back even before 2000 when this stuff was going on. And we can see that the majority of them are in and around these areas that supposedly are owned by China. So I don't know. I think it's a safe assumption to say that some of these weather modification consultant agencies that have popped up around our country are just nothing but little companies and front bases so that China can keep control of the weather and some of these weather modification projects around here too. And that's kind of interesting how they went about that, because they created a middleman, so to speak, a bunch of middlemen, so to speak, when it comes to these North American weather modification consultants and weather modification LLCs. You'll see that a lot of these applications and weather reports that they put in, Atmospherics Incorporated, a lot of them have to do with consultant agencies too. And there's a lot of different consultant agencies around this country right now. A lot of different ones. Again, this one I think is Atmospherics Incorporated. Yeah. I don't think that that's a coincidence necessarily. I really don't. I don't think that's a coincidence that that map. Oh, yeah, there's one. North American weather consultants. There's a bunch of these types of consultant agencies around the country. So I think that the two are related as well. That it's not just around our military bases, but this map that Dr. Phil presented uh, shows the bulk of these areas. Do your own research. Texas has a very extensive, long-standing weather modification program. Utah has an extreme, very long-standing in packing the snow for the ski resorts. California has a long-standing weather modification program. So does Washington and Oregon. They just recently banned those types of activities back this way over in Illinois and Indiana, Ohio area. But I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't. Both the fact that these Chinese-owned plots of land are around some of our military bases, and they also are in and around the areas where there is the heaviest amount of weather modification and geoengineering projects going on. Just saying. Just shameful what the EPA and what our atmospheric scientists and our so-called environmental scientists have come to. They're shameful as far as I'm concerned. They're absolutely shameful. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Know that I appreciate you and that you matter very much to me.